Over at Marvel Comics, the publisher has done a phenomenal job publishing excellent Loki material over the past couple years. We've gotten some really phenomenal runs over from creators like Al Ewing and Kieran Gillen. And it looks like Marvel is looking to continue that trend by bringing in Sword of Azrael writer Dan Watters alongside Black Panther artist German Peralta for a brand new Loki title. But will this title be able to follow in the footsteps of so many excellent previous runs? My name is Arico Braddock, and today let's go ahead and dive into the pages of Loki #1 to see if this book is able to stand out against such a crowded sea of Marvel Comics. But before we dive deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and kick off our review by reading Marvel's solicitation text for Loki #1. Loki saves the Marvel Universe. He may be the benevolent god of stories now, but Loki's past as the god of lies returns to haunt him when ancient, powerful weapons he once built end up scattering across the 10 realms. Loki must track down these weapons before they fall into the wrong hands and bring about Ragnarok. Surprising guest stars, exciting new characters, and startling twists await in this all-new miniseries by rising star Dan Watters and German Peralta. I want to go ahead and introduce the creative team over on Loki. This one is written by Dan Watters, of course, featuring artwork over from German Peralta, colors from Mike Spicer, letters from VC's Travis Lanham, and we have a cover over from Dustin Nguyen. Here's a look over on the cover for the brand new Loki #1 coming in from Marvel Comics. I do enjoy how this cover kind of teases some of the animosity over between Loki and Thor that we see a little bit later on in the issue. I want to extend a big thanks over to Adventures in Poor Taste. And also, I want to go ahead and take a look at some of the artwork in the issue over from German Peralta. I think German Peralta is able to do a really excellent job kind of shifting scenes and styles when the issue calls for it. And I think one of the things really kind of helping bolster this artwork as well are the colors from Mike Spicer. I really like how that kind of negative space is left over on the page that we have up on the screen, showing the kind of unconventional ways that Peralta is able to capture some of the pages over in the issue as well. I really like this page also. It kind of teases the fact that part of Loki also kind of takes place over in the modern day Marvel universe as well. It's good to get that kind of juxtaposition of what came before in Loki's past and to see him in his kind of current day status quo. I really enjoyed the fact that Marvel and Dan Watters were able to really kind of keep the continuity intact from recent Thor comics as far as the developments go over between Loki and Thor as well. It was also really interesting to see the inciting incident of the story. I really like the way that Dan Watters kind of first established it over in the first couple of chapters as a flashback. And I think the way that this tale kind of comes back into the issue featuring Loki's ship and the inciting incident is really, really interesting here as we see some frost giants kind of take command of some of Loki's arsenal, but end up making a horrific mistake that ends up giving Loki a quest that he has to solve to find the weapons of the Marvel Universe in order to go ahead and save the world here. So definitely a bit of an interesting plot that'll also serve to continue to redeem Loki as a character in the Marvel Universe. Another aspect of this book that I really enjoyed too was the way that some of the lore was utilized and implemented as well. We got so many interesting kind of magical artifacts, ideas kind of miniaturized. We also got a little bit of magical implementation in the issue as well. So just a lot of really great kind of subtle moments captured. And the way that the book uses kind of artifacts and comments on the lore over with Yggdrasil and the World Tree is just absolutely fascinating and so kind of interesting to behold here. The way that Loki kind of has a tense relationship with the frost giants that's also filled with some deception that kind of references his less morally altruistic past is another really interesting aspect of this tale. If I could go ahead and critique kind of one part about Dan Watters' script in the issue, I wish the cliffhanger of this tale was a little bit more clear and that there were a little bit more stakes sort of attached to it. In this issue, there's definitely a bit of an interesting kind of final page with some really great symbolism over for German Peralta, but I would have loved to see if the stakes were even higher. And I wanted to see just how crazy of a scenario that Dan Watters can think up over for the character of Loki. So overall here, I think this is a pretty strong first start over to a brand new Loki miniseries. I think there's some really great pieces of lore, some fascinating kind of tidbits of Loki's kind of creation, as well as Yggdrasil and the World Tree. Also really enjoyed how this book kind of captures so many different essences of the character, whether it be Loki of the past, present, and future here. I want to know from you, what were some of your thoughts over on Dan Watters' Loki debut? Did you find that introduction sequence to be as harrowing as I did? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for coming to check out our review over for Loki #1. And we'll be back soon to go ahead and cover all the latest developments over for Thor and Loki in the Marvel Universe. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.